The Hornets held their breaking ground ceremony for the Novant Health Performance Center going up in Uptown yesterday. It was a who's who of Hornets royalty in attendance. What does the Performance Center mean in terms of attracting free agents? Possibly. We'll dabble in the sicko satchel, and Doug continues his trek to 61 mock drafts. That's all today, Locked On Hornets.
You are Locked On Hornets, your daily Charlotte Hornets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
It's Locked On Hornets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your podcast, and that includes YouTube. There's Doug Branson. He's a part of everyhornetsboxscore.com. He's also a part of Locked On NBA with Matt Moore and Hayes. I'm Walker Mail. You can listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. As always, we appreciate their support. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. And last but certainly not least, Doug is also writing the Locked On Hornets newsletter, the daily newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. You can sign up for free right now. LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Hornets newsletter. You might have had a practice facility to write about. Ooh, maybe. I don't know. You got to go sign up. Let's talk about that Novant Health Performance Center, Doug. And let's do it by bringing in the sicko satchel. This is your world, so you get to take care of the satchel. A little satchel dabble. I was there on site for Novant Health Performance Center, groundbreaking ceremony. So many words together, but that's what the title was. So how about you bring in the combo?
Well, first of all, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Where do you think that where were you sitting relative to what the facility is going to be? Do you think you were sitting in a bathroom? Do you think you were sitting in the lobby? Like question. Where you were sitting to watch this groundbreaking, where do you think you actually will be when the building is completed?
Well, I felt a little pain in my ankle, so I don't know if that was a bad omen for sitting in the training room. Just a little tingle. I was like, I kind of tripped a little bit on one of the pieces of gravel in the parking lot that it is now before it turns into the center. So I don't know, but that would be my guess.
Did they let you touch the shovel?
Oh, no. There was no touching of the shovel. I said I forgot my hard hat because they've actually given out Hornets hard hats before. So I should have brought that and looked like a complete loser. But no, I didn't get to touch any equipment, none of that whatsoever. I was in attendance. I was in my media seat. I took pictures. I got to see everybody touch the shovels and touch the hard hats and be a part of the groundbreaking ceremony, but I was not a part of it.
All right, this question comes from Shuman of the 22nd Mullins Regiment. Shuman asks, I'm watching the live stream for the Novant Performance Facility, and one of the main themes is that this will be a, quote, premier facility, unquote, that will help maintain and attract top NBA talent. How much of an impact do you think all of the investments into the arena and the facilities actually factor into our team getting top NBA talent?
It can only help. I don't think that it's going to be more than the money that you're trying to pay for some of these players. To the fact that you have a Novant Health Performance Center in place that is state of the art, I don't know if that's going to give you the free agent that you want over the other franchise that's offering more money per year. It can get pretty simple. And plus, the other thing that usually teams and players are looking for, I should say, players more so than teams, they're looking for the winning franchise. So are you a contender, and are you going to pay me a lot of money? Those are the things that are always going to matter first and foremost. So you have to pay the player, and you also have to have a culture of winning, because maybe it works out the first couple of years where you have two teams that offer the same amount of money to a free agent, but one team has won more games in the last 2, 3, 5 years than you have. Then that's just going to be another box that you can't check off. But look, I don't want to go down the bad road. This is a good thing for the Hornets. This is a good thing for the team in which Schlotkin taking care of this. They're spending over $150 million on this. The city owes $30, with the city council agreeing to that deal not too long ago, of course. But the owners are paying $150 million to build this new practice facility. Rick Schnall said it yesterday when he spoke at the podium. this is going to be the best practice facility in the NBA, which why would you build it if it wasn't going to be the best practice facility in the NBA?
Why would you build it and say it's going to be the fourth best practice facility in the NBA?
Both
the newest one
questions.
is always going to be the best one, right?
Both important questions. The renderings look fantastic, so as long as they match up with the renderings, then it's going to be fantastic.
Oh,
so
we love a good rendering, don't we, folks?
Oh, I do. I love multiple renderings, and we got them here. Yeah, Doug, what do you think? I mean, how far does this go in attracting free agents with something better than what they have at the Spectrum Center right now? It's kind of funny how clear Kemba Walker made that when he spoke in the roundtable discussion.
Well, and he's had a lot of experience in that room, so if anyone's going to know it, and he's played with other big franchises like New York and Boston that throw around a lot of money on various different things, including their facilities. Mm-hmm. So one would have to take him at his word there. Is a practice facility in and of itself going to attract a top NBA free agent? No, absolutely not. That's ridiculous. But what it is a symbol of a ownership group that is committed to investing in this franchise overall. Because what you're going to be selling a top free agent or a player that you've traded for and are going to try to convince to stay with your organization, that's kind of the more likely path for the Hornets. You've got to convince them that you're committed to investing in the players, in whatever it's going to take to win a championship. And so this can be a symbol of that. To me, it's important because it starts to shed what was a building almost in concrete, a reputation of the Hornets being a cheap franchise, of not investing, not just in player facilities, but also like how comfortable are they on the road. And look, these are human beings. And as a human being, when you're more comfortable, when you have the things you need, it most of the time it allows you to work better. And so for these players, their work is their play. So this will only allow them to play better. And it hopefully starts to get rid of some of that stink around the organization in terms of being cheap. And then the ownership group needs to get out the checkbook and start filling this roster full of players that are going to actually impact winning on the floor.
I really enjoyed the roundtable discussion with Charles Lee, Muggsy Bogues, Kemba Walker, Sam Farber, the Hornets play-by-play announcer on radio, leading the way. I really enjoyed some of the comments where Charles Lee called it really is their sanctuary. They're going to spend more time here than they spend
with their own
any
families.
Other place. I mean, that's the joke, right?
That's not the joke. It's the deal.
No, Muggsy Bogues made the joke that was funny because it was true, in that I just feel bad for the players' wives, because they're never going to see him again. Without state-of-the-art this is going to be, with this being the best practice facility, you're going to have 2 full-size basketball courts. There's also going to be 250 employee and administrative offices held here as well. And so Charles talked about the beauty of maybe just being down the hall from Jeff Peterson and not having to go up a floor or whatever, go through this entire maze. Like, it's just classic. If you've watched SNL documentaries, it's the writers' rooms just being across from each other all the way down this long hallway, and they're just shouting out ideas, and it's this, beautiful, organized, somewhat disorganized chaos that leads to this product. That's what I envisioned with the Hornets. Charles Lee just yelling at Jeff Peterson, yelling at Schlotkin, just all these guys having access to one another, trying to make the franchise better. Yeah, we can talk about the retail and the economic growth of it all, which is a little nuanced, but interesting to me all the same.
Here's a little wrinkle. We heard Steve Clifford multiple times during his second stint with the organization. I don't know if complain is the right word, but certainly laments the idea that in today's game, a lot of players, particularly over the summer, want to work with their team and their guys and their plays, and not with the Hornets and not with the team, and not under the supervision of what the team would like the player to do and develop in order to fit within the whole team structure that they're trying to build. Well, I think he was probably, if I had to guess, frustrated that the Hornets weight room was a piece of bleep and wasn't attracting those players to come in and do those things. So in a couple of years, they're going to have a facility that players will want to be in, and that's only good for the team. So this is a piece, I think, of a larger puzzle that this ownership group hopefully finishes, doesn't leave unfinished on the table, and can be, can bring some exciting things here to Charlotte.
Yeah, I have some other ideas on this. I won't speak for you, Doug. Maybe you do, but I do want to continue.
I'm
this
out.
conversation.
That was it. That was my last. That wrinkle was my last wrinkle.
All right. Now, you took out the iron and you got rid of that wrinkle, baby. We got a couple more segments to go. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
I use a photo filter.
Bees everywhere!
Hashtag no filter. I got more comments on the practice facility. Charles Lee had some more interesting comments. And Kemba Walker, in trying to pump up the new practice facility, kind of dumped on the Spectrum Center a little bit. And there's something to explore there. Plus, we have a mock draft for you. Still to come, LOH. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. March Madness, it's here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. You could pick your favorite teams. You might have your eye on a few underdogs this year. FanDuel makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. Although the underdogs, they got on up out of here first weekend. So it's a new era, baby. We got a bunch of high seeds. So maybe the underdog you're looking at is Arizona against Duke tonight, although I would not advise that. But staying in the action, you can also do with FanDuel. With tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something exciting to bet on, and it's easy and fast. The FanDuel app is simple to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no waiting around. Visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. More Locked On Hornets ahead. I tweeted out yesterday that something pretty exciting happened to me on my way back to the parking lot after attending the event. So I'm walking back. Yeah.
Could be anything.
It happened right on the corner. There was this woman. No. So I'm walking back to the park. I'm walking to the parking lot. And there's somebody like kind of close by, and he clearly had one of the giveaways that they were like a T-shirt, gift bag. They had Novant Health Performance Center cookies that they were handing out as well.
Man.
So, yeah, they were pretty good. It was a pretty big sugar cookie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I ate it immediately. And so it was Kenny Gattison walking alongside me, although I wasn't 100% sure. The Gat Man, baby. Kenny G, the OG Kenny G. So he was walking right
exciting.
It was. And I thought it was him because Muggsy shouted him out during the roundtable discussion. He said, "Isn't that right, Gat?" I forget what he said that about. So I kind of eyed him anyway. He's walking right beside me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to talk to the Gat Man. So I start, shooting the bleep with him. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Hey, this is pretty cool. What's going on here, right? He said, it's a long time coming. He said, these players today, I don't know if they'd be able to survive back what we had to work through. I was like, oh, over there on Ty Volant? No, just down the street here in Uptown. Our weight room back in the day had nothing but a bench press and a roll of duct tape.
And a cigarette machine.
Yes, that's exactly what I want. I wanted all that. I wanted to hear a comment on today's NBA, and I wanted it to be in the neighborhood of today's players being somewhat soft, just to some degree. But he was great. And I forget, he said something else, but I was geeking out walking to the Gat Man. So that was kind of cool.
Did you say, come on the pod sometime? I mean, what are we doing here? Get him on the pod. Come on. Jeez Louise.
Thought about it. I got a little scared because
you did not. That's a lie. That's a total lie. You had no thought. You were completely entranced in the cloud of Gatman.
I swear I thought about it, but it was a little too quick. I could have stopped him. I'm not going to lie. I probably could have stopped him, but he was doing his own thing. I didn't want to bother him too much. I already felt like I was bothering him. And Gatman is one of the enforcers where it's like one of those, you dip your toes in the water to see if he's going to engage. And he engaged a little bit. But anyways, that's what it was, though. There were so many Hornets in attendance. Not only was royalty there with Muggsy and Kemba, but you also had other players, Kenny G, George Lynch was in the house for this one. You had a bunch of people, just a bunch of city council members. Mayor Vi Lyles spoke because of what the kind of impact that it's going to have on the city. So it was a hell of an event, man. Like, it was pretty cool to see the official breaking of the ground. I like that it's right beside Spectrum Center, so it is easier for the players. It is easier for the employees. Parking, I don't know about anybody asking about what's going to go on with parking, but parking is going to be what. It is going to suck. And
That's
I don't
great.
know.
That's great because real cities have parking problems. I mean, Charlotte, you want to be a real city? I say this about Nashville all the time.
Charlotte's
People
got some
complain, like,
parking
where are we going to
problems
park? It's like real cities, You don't park. You take a bus, you take a subway, you take a cab, you take whatever, you bike. Yeah. That's a real city. So Charlotte, you want to turn into a real city, get rid of the parking lots, put some buildings up, put some things that will attract people there, and then, up your transit game.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. Just to talk about the economic impact really quick. I mean, they view that as an assignment for them. They want to make Uptown vibrant is the word that Rick Schnall used. And they are going to have retail. They envision restaurants. I saw an article from Ashley Mahoney on Axios saying there was a back and forth, I think, between her and Rick Schnall about is there going to be some kind of title like the Hive Hub or the Hive or something like that where there is a central meeting place, whatever, right? You get the idea. Whatever. You just rolled your eyes. That disgusted you.
Can
that
they
was
win
Josh
some
Green
games?
throwing up a three off of a LaMelo.
Can Josh Green score more than 2 points a game? Like that's what these are the things that are going on in my mind. Not are they going to call it the Hive or the Hoove or the Heave? Who gives a damn? Win a game.
God, it is. It's just.
I'm glad I wasn't there. First of all, I physically don't feel good, so I'm not really in the mood anyway. But I'm glad I wasn't there. Me and the Gap Man might have gone to blows. I don't know who would have won, but me and the Gap Man might have gotten a fight.
Yeah, I don't. You sound like Stephen A. Smith. Do you want to move on? We can move on. Do you just want to get to your mock draft? Is that what this is really all about? And
no,
you just
here's
don't
what
want
I
to talk about it anymore? Okay.
Here's what I want to get to. Speaking of Stephen A. Smith, LeBron James. I ever heard of him? He went on the Pat McAfee show. Ever heard of it? And he had a lot of things to say. None of them about the Charlotte Hornets, which surprised me. I couldn't believe he didn't mention the Hornets.
Ever heard of him?
He has not. But he did say this, which I found very interesting. He alluded to the idea that the NBA may have rigged the 2003 lottery in favor of the Cavaliers to get LeBron James, son of Akron, to the Cavs. He said, quote, let's keep LeBron home, Patrick Ewing to the Knicks, alluding there to another popular draft rigging conspiracy. LeBron to the Cavs, Rose to the Bulls. I get it, man, unquote. That's a great, first of all, that whole interview was just him just going fireball on everyone.
Yeah, he's
flamethrower, I guess.
Grumpy old man LeBron is ready to take on the smoke now, I guess. Despite Stephen A. saying he doesn't like to take smoke, he likes to give it. He was ready. Well, I guess in this instance, he was giving all the smoke.
Yeah. Oh, what a show. All right, so here's what I'm thinking on this. If it is rigged, I'm not a crazy conspiracy theorist, but if LeBron James is right and it is rigged, wouldn't that favor the Charlotte Hornets? Like, wouldn't bringing Cooper Flagg, who is, one of the better freshman Duke players of all time, just down the road to Charlotte, wouldn't that be the way to rig it? And I think, where is he from? His home state is Maine, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there's no NBA team in Maine,
right.
Number one. Number two, you know who else is from Maine?
Steve Clifford.
Stephen Clifford.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I mean, I'm telling you,
also,
Adam, let's do it. Let's make this happen.
Also, shout out to Chase Whitney, who is also from Maine, who now works for the Hornets after talking and writing about him. I got to see him yesterday. Chase Whitney, team employee from Maine. Chase, bring Cooper home now, man. Come on, sneak in somehow. Maybe if you're good at art, then just go ahead and draw that logo on a few more ping pong balls. I'm just saying, Chase, help us out.
No, this makes too much sense. I hope LeBron's right. I hope they do rig it, and I hope it fine. And wouldn't you rig it finally for a team that has experienced so much misery on the floor and in the draft? They're working, I think, longest playoff drought, one of the longest in just sports in general, not just to mention the NBA. And certainly if you were to extend that out into winning a playoff series, they would, or a playoff game or playoff series, I think they would be tops there among sports too. So,
all right, mock draft time or on the other side?
Yeah, let's do it on the other side.
It's a great show.
I do have it. I just have to look it up real quick.
Already. It's day 4 of 61. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere!
I don't feel good.
Doug looks for his mock draft and then gets angry somehow, some way about Josh Green and the practice facility and the Hive and us just trying to have fun. That's next, LOH. We totally did not take a longer break there so Doug could find the mock draft. He had it at the ready immediately. What you got for the people, Doug Branson?
Well, I want to update everyone on where the Hornets are in the draft lottery race. I don't know if it's a race. I don't know if you can call something where teams are losing on purpose a race, but the Hornets are still locked in with the third best, third worst odds. They still have the 14% chance at the number one overall selection, still have a 52% chance, basically a coin flip of getting a top 4 pick or falling out of the top 4. They have lost 3 in a row. Washington in a toilet bowl last night got a win, I believe, over the Utah Jazz, if I'm correct. Maybe not, but that was their 16th win. That ties them with the Utah Jazz for first.
It's Philadelphia.
Overall.
Philadelphia.
It was Philadelphia, sorry, yeah. Still toilet bowl. So Washington's a half game back. The Hornets are 2.5 game back of Utah. They are now a game and a half clear of New Orleans. That's important. New Orleans just won another game. And the Hornets are going on like 3 straight games. Toronto and 2 other teams that are tanking as well. So this is going to be a really interesting couple of games for the Hornets. So that's where they sit. Should I go ahead and sim this lottery and see where they land?
Yeah, let's do it. Sim away. Let's play the Sims.
Beep, boop, boop. Well, the coin flip did not go our way again. They fall 3 spots to the 6th overall selection. Toronto gets the top pick. Brooklyn at 2. New Orleans moves up 1 spot to 3. But Washington, Utah, Charlotte, they all fall in the draft. Ouchie. So that takes us over to
yeah.
Takes us to NBADraftRoom.com, who has their latest mock draft. I don't know when this was updated, but let's just assume it was updated yesterday so that I can say this one is fresh.
Yeah.
They've got Cooper Flagg going number 1 overall, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson, and then with the 6th pick, now they do teams here, so maybe this isn't fair, but they've got Kasparas Jakucionis. How'd I do there? Was I close?
Nah, I'm not going to be able to do any better. So,
point guard from Illinois, Jaku, had an incredibly strong start to the season, but has fallen off a bit over the past month. I think that's what it is. It's Jakucionis. It's either Jakucionis or Jakucionis. I think it's Jakucionis. He's really good with the ball in his hands and is a threat to score whenever he touches the ball. He also has great feel for finding open teammates and good size for the point guard position. He's listed as 6'5". After flirting with the top 5 all year, he's now looking like a 5 to 15 range pick. The comps here from NBADraftRoom.com are DeJounte Murray and Lonzo Ball. How about that?
And I wonder, man, the Lonzo Ball comp, it's I guess they're comparing him to Lonzo Ball after what he originally was supposed to be once he enters the NBA. Because remember, what was awesome about Lonzo is he turned into an extremely valuable player with a completely different makeup than what we thought he was going to provide. We thought he was going to be this creative, ball-dominant point guard that just ran the offense entirely, and then he turned into a really nice secondary ball handler, but more so 3-and-D that got $20 million, and it was viewed as a great contract, and then eventually the injuries happened. So are we talking about him like kind of splitting the difference there too? Secondary ball handler, more 3-and-D. If he's 3-and-D, I don't know about the defense. I do know the 3-point percentage isn't very good. He's also turning the ball over a lot the last 4 games. I will say that. Had 6 turnovers against Kentucky, 6 against Xavier, 6 against Maryland, 6 against Iowa. And those are all the Big Ten tournament games that he played in or the NCAA tournament games that he played in. Not great numbers. Going to have to dive into the film here. Don't know as much about him, which I promise I won't say that every single episode we do this. I need to get on my
you got plenty of time. I mean, this is day 4 of 61. And really, it's only 61 weekdays. There are actually far more days between now and the NBA draft. I just only have 50-something opportunities to do a mock draft. One thing you should know about Kasparas is that he's from Lithuania, which is where LaMelo Ball spent some time playing overseas and had this great quote. after Lithuania, I didn't give a bleep where I got drafted to.
That's
so
the way.
remember when he gives any love to Charlotte, he's comparing you to Lithuania.
That's the way to get people here to Charlotte, to just not turn them down. Send them to Lithuania for just a little bit, and then they can come on home to Charlotte and love
that Spectrum
the
Center
Queen
weight
City.
room looking pretty good.
Yeah. Which Kemba, going back to that just to end the show here, Kemba saying, honestly, one of the great perks of this new weight room we're going to have, the new practice facility, is space. We're going to have space. There's only a few guys, he mentioned, that can fit in the weight room right now, and you almost have to rotate. So it's just going to be great to be able to fit more guys in the weight room at this practice facility. He also said, I know.
Hold on,
I know.
I need to sit sit with that a minute.
Okay.
That's incredible.
I know.
That you could only there is a vacancy,
I mean,
there's a limit to how many guys you can get in. Like, no wonder they haven't been taking beefy boys. Like Isaiah Stewart, like he's the only one that could lift while everyone else had to stand outside. Like, oh my God. Incredible.
Yeah, Miles Bridges was about as thick as you could draft a player. That's why you go LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams. You need a whole bunch of skinny dudes so they can just fit side by side in the weight room. I don't want to get that wrong, but I know he said more space in the weight room is going to be valuable because of how small the weight room is at the Spectrum Center. I know that is absolutely the gist of it. And then he started thinking about his days in Boston, saying, look, in Boston, they had a bunch of nice stuff, or they had a lot of stuff that was real nice, including a saltwater tank. I loved that. I fell asleep in it a couple times. And then,
doesn't seem safe.
There's
seem safe.
There's Rick Schnall and Gabe Plotkin in the front. He was like, so I don't know if it's going in there. And so it's like, yeah, now's the time to request some things with this practice facility. I think we got the nod. I think there is going to be a saltwater tank. So look,
you get everything. You get the saltwater,
Yeah.
you get the hyperbaric chamber, you get the ice tub, you get whatever they use to freeze Ted Williams and his head. Like, you get that.
And
you
Han
get the
Solo.
latest
I
and
want my
greatest
choice.
technology.
I want my choice. I want my Ted Williams freezing machine or my Han Solo freezing machine. Whatever's more beneficial.
You get a whole room full of blood boys.
Whole room, and plus
The
everybody can
Novant
fit in
Health
there.
Performance Blood Boy room.
And everybody can fit in there, right? There can be plenty of space so that every
so
single
much
player.
space for blood boys.
That'll do it for Locked On Hornets. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your podcast. That does include YouTube. Tomorrow, we'll get to that last bullet point that we did not get to today because we were too busy talking about Blood Boys. Doug Branson is responsible for that. EveryHornetsBoxScore.com. Locked On NBA as well. I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me on WFNZ via Wes and Walker every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back with you tomorrow.